It's 7:15 on a Saturday evening in the middle of July. The smell of charcoal is thick in the air, laughter is bouncing off the fence, someone's little cousin is screaming with joy about a popsicle, and your dog is right there beside you. That quiet, hopeful thump of his tail against the deck. Those big brown eyes locked on the plate in your hand. And then, one small hand reaches over the picnic table and drops something onto the grass. Just a taste, just a little bit, just a piece of what everyone else is eating. I know that scene by heart, my friends, because I have lived the aftermath in my exam room more times than I can count. And I can tell you that a single summer emergency visit for a dog who ate the wrong thing off the grill will cost you, on average, between $800 and $2,500. In the worst cases, it climbs past $6,000, all from a piece of food that felt like love. Did you know that veterinary emergency visits in the United States spike by roughly 30% between Memorial Day and Labor Day every single year? Not because dogs get sicker in the heat, because our plates get more dangerous. I am Dr. Ray Carter, canine specialist veterinarian, and welcome back to the channel. In my clinic, summer barbecue food is the #1 thing owners call me about between May and September. As you know from my other videos, most of the food dangers for dogs are hiding in plain sight, right on the counter, right on the plate, right where love is being served. Take a deep breath and drop the guilt at the door. You are not a bad pet parent. Nobody handed you a manual on the day you brought him home. You are here, right now, learning. That is what a great owner does. Today we are going to do a full masterclass on the 5 summer barbecue foods you must never feed your dog. Grab a notebook, hit that subscribe button, and let's begin. If you saw the thumbnail of this video, you saw the promise. Today I am going to show you exactly which 5 foods to keep off your dog's plate this summer, and I am going to save the one that sends dogs to the emergency room for last, because I need every single one of you to hear the first 4 before we get there. Chapter number 1, corn on the cob. The kernels themselves, cooked corn kernels off the cob, are not toxic to dogs. That is important. That is worth saying twice. The kernels are not the villain. The villain is the cob. That solid fibrous cylinder is one of the most common gastrointestinal foreign bodies I pull out of dogs every single summer. Here is the science in one sentence. A dog's stomach can crush a chicken bone into powder. It cannot break down the tough cellulose structure of a corn cob. So the cob leaves the stomach whole, hits the small intestine, and gets stuck. This is called a mechanical obstruction, and the plain English translation is simple. The plumbing is blocked and nothing gets through. Real-world example. 2 summers ago, right after a 4th of July barbecue, a family brought me a 3-year-old golden retriever named Biscuit. They swore he had only chewed on the cob for a minute in the yard before they took it away. That night he vomited twice. The next morning he refused breakfast. By that afternoon his belly was tight, he was drooling ropes of thick saliva, and he was hunched in that specific praying position, front end down, rear end up. The x-ray showed exactly what I was afraid of, a 3-inch cob wedged in his upper intestine. The surgery to remove it cost his family $4,200. Biscuit made it. He was one of the lucky ones. The correct way. Kernels, yes, in moderation, plain, off the cob, no butter, no salt, no seasoning. About 1 tablespoon per 20 pounds of body weight as an occasional treat. The cob itself, absolutely never. Not one bite, not one lick, not the tiny nub at the end that looks harmless. Instruction. Before you fire up the grill, walk your yard and your patio. Any cobs from last night, any half-eaten ones the kids left on paper plates, any that fell behind the cooler. Pick them all up and put them in a sealed outdoor trash can with a locking lid. When guests are eating, keep your dog on a leash or behind a baby gate. When the meal is done, every single cob goes into that same sealed can, not into an open kitchen trash bag that any curious nose can pull down at 3 in the morning. The budget trick. A locking outdoor trash can is a phenomenal one-time investment of about $35. If that is out of reach today, the free version is a bungee cord wrapped twice around your existing trash can lid. It is not pretty, but it will save you a $4,000 surgery. Vet warning. If your dog has already eaten a cob and you are watching this, do not wait to see what happens. Do not try to induce vomiting on your own, because that cob can lodge sideways in the esophagus and turn a bad situation into a worse one. Call your vet or the nearest emergency clinic right now, tell them what happened, and go. Chapter number 2. The fatty trimmings, the burnt drippings, and the leftover skin. This is the one that hurts the most, my friends, because it is the one owners feel the most generous about. You trimmed the fat off your steak. You pulled the crispy skin off the chicken thigh. You scraped the beautiful charred drippings from the bottom of the grill pan. And you thought, that is a treat. That is love on a plate. But is it really love? Or is it a stress test on an organ your dog cannot afford to lose? In a dog's body, a sudden dose of concentrated fat is not a treat. It is a stress test on an organ called the pancreas. The pancreas is the small pink gland tucked behind the stomach, and its job is to release digestive enzymes into the intestine. When it is overwhelmed by a huge fat load all at once, those enzymes activate too early inside the pancreas itself, and the organ starts to digest its own tissue. That condition is called pancreatitis, and it is one of the top 3 reasons dogs land in the emergency room during summer holidays. It is spectacular in the worst possible way. Real-world example. Last August, a client of mine brought in her 12-year-old dachshund, Winston. He had spent the afternoon of a family barbecue accepting little pieces of bratwurst, a strip of chicken skin from Grandma, a spoonful of pulled pork drippings from her nephew, and the fatty edge of a ribeye from her husband, who thought no single piece was a big deal. By themselves, none of them were. Together, in 3 hours, they were a metabolic hurricane. That night, Winston was flat on the kitchen floor, refusing to move, his belly bloated and tender, vomiting a pale yellow foam every 20 minutes. 3 days in the hospital on intravenous fluids, pain medication, and anti-nausea drugs. Total bill, $3,800, and a lifetime of a strict low-fat prescription diet from then on. The correct way. Dogs metabolize fat very differently than we do. The safe fat content of a treat for most dogs is less than 10% by weight. Burnt drippings, rendered skin, and trimmed fat can be 70 or 80% fat. That is not a treat. That is a bomb wrapped in the smell of home. Instruction: set one plate aside before the party that is labeled the dog plate. On it goes a small amount of plain, lean, fully cooked meat. Skinless chicken breast, lean ground turkey, or a small piece of the leanest cut of beef, cooked without oil, without butter, without seasoning. No salt, no pepper, no garlic powder, no onion powder, no barbecue rub. About 1 tablespoon per 20 pounds of body weight total for the whole day. Not per person, not per hour, total. The budget trick. If you are hosting a big cookout, a $5 package of plain chicken breast, boiled in water the morning of the party and shredded into a container in your fridge, is the single best insurance policy you can buy. Absolutely brilliant, absurdly cheap. Anyone who wants to slip your dog a taste gets a piece of that from your hand, not from the grill. Vet warning. Pay very close attention to this one because this is one of the 2 biggest alerts of this entire video. If your dog has had access to fatty barbecue scraps and starts vomiting repeatedly, refuses food, hunches with his back arched, or feels tender when you gently touch his belly, this is a pancreatitis emergency. Do not wait until morning. Do not try a home remedy. This is a same-day veterinary visit, no exceptions. Chapter number 3, the onion, the garlic, and the seasoning blends. This is the invisible danger, my friends, and it is spectacularly common because almost every single sauce, rub, marinade, and side dish at a summer cookout contains one or both of these. Onion powder in the burger seasoning, garlic in the barbecue sauce, chives in the potato salad, leeks in the pasta salad, shallots in the vinaigrette, all members of the same plant family, all containing the same class of compounds called organosulfoxides. Here is the plain English mechanism. Those compounds attack the outer membrane of a dog's red blood cells and make them rupture. Picture a battlefield inside the bloodstream, cell after cell breaking apart. The result is a condition called hemolytic anemia. Fewer working red blood cells means less oxygen delivered to every tissue in the body. The dog becomes weak, pale, and short of breath. And in severe cases, the kidneys, which are trying to filter out all that damaged cellular debris, start to fail. Real-world example. A neighbor of mine, a truly wonderful woman, kept feeding her 10-pound Yorkie tiny pieces of her hamburger every weekend all summer. Just a bite here, a bite there, nothing crazy. The burger had a store-bought seasoning blend with onion powder, garlic powder, and dried chives. By early September, that tiny dog was so lethargic she could not climb the 2 steps into the kitchen. Her gums were the color of chewed bubble gum, pale and gray. It was chronic onion toxicity, built up over weeks of what looked like love. She needed a blood transfusion and a week of supportive care. Total bill, over $5,000. She survived, but my neighbor cried for a month. But Dr. Carter, some of you are thinking, I've heard for years that a little garlic is actually good for dogs. It helps with fleas, right? Let me stop you right there. As you know from my other videos, that old wives' tale is one of the most dangerous myths in the entire pet world, and I have retired it in this clinic. There is no safe dose of onion or garlic for a dog. That is a hard sentence, and it is the truth. If you would not put it in a jar labeled dog food, do not put it in your dog's mouth. Instruction: read the label on every sauce, rub, and marinade you use this summer. Look for the words onion, onion powder, garlic, garlic powder, chive, leek, shallot, and scallion. If any of those words appear on the label, that item is off limits for your dog, no matter how small the piece. This includes the outside crust of a seasoned burger, the glaze on a rib, and the drippings in the bottom of a pan of grilled vegetables. The budget trick: season your dog's plate with nothing. Nothing at all. If you want to add a little something for excitement, a fantastic free option is a tiny pinch of plain fresh dill from your grocery store's herb section. Dill is not listed as toxic to dogs and adds negligible risk in small amounts. Do not substitute garden-grown parsley. The ASPCA lists Petrosolinum crispum, common parsley, as toxic to dogs due to furanocoumarins, and garden plants are easily misidentified. The parsley freshens dog breath tip that circulates online has not been validated as safe at any dose, so skip it entirely. Vet warning: signs of onion or garlic poisoning can take up to 72 hours to appear. That is what makes this so tricky. Are you watching your dog closely enough this weekend to catch a symptom 3 days from now? If your dog has had access to any of these seasoned foods and, over the next 3 days, you notice pale gums, unusual tiredness, dark or reddish urine, or an unwillingness to move around, that is a veterinary visit, and I want you to mention the barbecue by name when you check in. Chapter number 4, the grapes, the raisins, and the fruit salad. This one shocks people every single time, so I need you to hear me clearly. Grapes and raisins in any amount can cause acute kidney failure in dogs. Any amount, any variety, any color, any brand, seedless, seeded, red, green, purple, organic, sun-dried, chocolate-covered. in a granola bar, in a trail mix, in a fruit salad, in Aunt Linda's famous ambrosia salad that she brings to every family cookout. The exact compound responsible was only recently identified by veterinary toxicologists as tartaric acid. And the truly terrifying detail is that different dogs have wildly different sensitivities. One dog can eat a handful and be fine for years, and the next dog can eat 2 raisins and be in kidney failure by morning. Do you feel lucky enough to guess which kind of dog yours is? Because I don't. There is no dose we can consider safe. There is no way to predict which dog will react. Real-world example. Last summer, a father came into my clinic with tears in his eyes carrying his 7-year-old Labrador, Duke. Duke had gotten into the fruit salad on the back patio. Maybe a cup, maybe a cup and a half. Nobody had told him grapes were dangerous. Nobody had thought to. By the time Duke stopped urinating, we were racing to save his kidneys. 3 days of intravenous fluids, 24-hour monitoring, and the most aggressive supportive care we had. He lived, and his kidney values came back down to normal, but the bill was $6,400, and I still see him every 6 months for check-ins that will continue for the rest of his life. The correct way: fruit salad, grape clusters on the cheese board, raisins in the oatmeal cookies your neighbor brought, trail mix in your teenager's backpack. All of it, up on a high counter, in a sealed container, or behind a closed door. If a grape hits the floor and rolls under the fridge, you get down on your hands and knees and you find it. Not tomorrow. Right then. Instruction. Before your guests arrive, do a 5-minute grape sweep. Walk the kitchen, walk the yard, check the coolers, check any low tables where a child might set down a plate. If you are serving fruit, serve it on a high table only, and cover the platter with a mesh dome when nobody is standing next to it. When the party ends, the fruit bowl goes into the fridge behind a closed door, not left on the counter overnight. The budget trick. Safe fruits for a dog on a hot summer day are absolutely wonderful and cost almost nothing. Frozen blueberries, 1 or 2 at a time. A thin slice of watermelon with no seeds and no rind. A small piece of banana. A tiny cube of apple with no core and no seeds. Any one of these in a small amount is a fantastic hot day treat that will not hurt him and will not bankrupt you. Vet warning. If you even suspect your dog ate a grape or a raisin, do not wait for symptoms. Call your veterinarian or an animal poison control line immediately. In this case, and only in this case, treatment in the first 2 hours before signs appear can make the difference between a scary evening and a lifetime of kidney problems. If you saw the thumbnail promising the one that sends dogs to the emergency room, this next one is exactly what I was talking about. We are covering a lot of vital ground today, my friends, so grab a sip of water, because this next chapter is the one I need every single one of you to remember. Chapter number 5. And finally, the one you have been waiting for since the beginning of this video. The one that sends more dogs to the emergency room each summer than any other single ingredient on this entire list. Xylitol. I need everyone to listen to this one with real care. Xylitol is a sugar substitute, a sugar alcohol that hides in more products than you would ever imagine. Sugar-free chewing gum, sugar-free breath mints, sugar-free peanut butter, which is the one that catches loving owners off guard because they use it to hide medications inside a treat. Some sugar-free barbecue sauces marketed as low-carb or keto-friendly, sugar-free ketchup, certain sugar-free ice creams, some brands of children's chewable vitamins, even some cough drops and toothpaste that end up in beach bags and picnic coolers. Here is the mechanism, and it is truly one of the most dramatic in all of veterinary toxicology. In a human body, xylitol has almost no effect on blood sugar. In a dog's body, it triggers a massive, near instantaneous release of insulin from the pancreas. That insulin flood crashes the dog's blood sugar into hypoglycemia within 30 to 60 minutes. Weakness, wobbling, collapse, seizures, and if the dose is high enough, over the next 12 to 72 hours, that xylitol also destroys the liver. Real-world example. 2 summers ago, a family stopped at a gas station on the way to a 4th of July barbecue and bought a bag of sugar-free gum for the road. When they arrived at the party, they set the bag on a low picnic table by the front door. Their 4-year-old boxer, a sweet dog named Rocco, discovered it about 10 minutes later. He chewed through the bag and ate what we estimated was 14 pieces of gum. Within 45 minutes, he was staggering. Within an hour, he was seizing in the back of their SUV on the way to my emergency line. We spent 72 hours on that dog, intravenous dextrose to hold his blood sugar up, liver protective medications, around-the-clock monitoring. Total bill, $8,900. Rocco is alive today, but he has permanent liver damage that will require monitoring for the rest of his life. From one bag of gum left on a low table at a summer barbecue. The correct way. If a product says sugar-free, if a product says diet, if a product says keto-friendly, if a product says low-carb, if a product is a chewing gum or a mint of any kind, assume it contains xylitol until you have personally read the ingredient list and confirmed otherwise. The label may call it xylitol, it may call it birch sugar, it may call it wood sugar, all the same molecule, all the same danger. Instruction: do a full house sweep this weekend. Purses on the floor, backpacks on chairs, glove compartments, coolers, gym bags, beach bags, the diaper bag, the guest room dresser where your visiting sister set down her mints, the coffee table where your teenager left a wrapper. Anything that could contain sugar-free anything goes up high or into a sealed drawer. And when guests arrive at your barbecue this summer, tell them at the door, "My dog is here, please keep purses and bags off the floor." The budget trick. For emergencies, keep 2 things on a magnet on your fridge, starting today. 1, the name and phone number of your regular veterinarian. 2, the phone number of a 24-hour animal poison control service. That second number costs a consultation fee if you call, usually between $75 and $100, but it can save you thousands. And more importantly, it can save your dog's life while you are already driving to the emergency room. Vet warning. This is the second major alert of this video, and I want every owner listening to hear this very carefully. If your dog has eaten anything you suspect might contain xylitol, do not wait to see how it goes. Do not try to induce vomiting on your own without a veterinarian's guidance. Get in the car right now and go to the nearest emergency clinic and call them from the road so they can prepare. Time is not just important in a xylitol emergency. Time is everything. As a veterinarian who deeply respects your trust, I have to tell you a hard truth. There are limits to what this video can do. If your dog has already eaten one of these foods, no article, no video, no clever home remedy is going to substitute for a phone call to your vet and a physical exam. I can teach you what to watch for. I cannot examine your dog through a screen. And I have to be very direct with all of you. If you take this whole list of safe alternatives and out of enthusiasm and love, you dump every single one into his bowl tonight, the whole tablespoon of chicken plus the blueberries plus the watermelon plus the banana plus the apple, all at once, I promise you that you will be cleaning up soft, sloppy accidents at 3 in the morning. His stomach is not a bottomless pit. Moderation is the whole game. One small, safe treat at a time. Introduce any new food slowly, over several days, watching for a reaction. And when in doubt, the safest treat is a small piece of the plain, unseasoned, lean meat you already have on that dedicated dog plate. I know we have covered a lot today, my friends. Let me bring it home so nothing slips through the cracks. The 5 summer barbecue foods you must never feed your dog. Number 1, corn on the cob, because of the obstruction risk to the intestines. Number 2, fatty trimmings, burnt drippings, and greasy skin because of pancreatitis. Number 3, onion, garlic, and seasoning blends because of hemolytic anemia and possible kidney damage. Number 4, grapes and raisins, in any amount because of acute kidney failure. And number 5, xylitol in sugar-free products because of the insulin crash and the liver damage that follows. Here is your 3-step battle plan for every single cookout this summer. Step 1. Before the guests arrive, do the sweep. Cobs picked up, fruit up high, sugar-free products in sealed drawers, seasoned sauces off the low tables. Step 2. During the party, keep your dog on a leash, behind a baby gate, or in a shaded space with his own filled water bowl and his own safe dog plate of plain lean meat. Step 3. After the party, all bones and cobs and wrappers into a sealed outdoor bin, and one final walk of the yard before bed to pick up anything that fell. My challenge to you, pick just one thing from this video, just one. Maybe it is the locking trash can for the yard. Maybe it is the magnet on the fridge with the poison control number written on it. Maybe it is that one dedicated dog plate for every cookout from now on. Just one, this weekend. That one small decision could be the entire reason your dog is still curled up next to you next summer and the summer after that. I know how hard this can be sometimes. I know you are the one who cooks, hosts, cleans up, refills the drinks, and still remembers his water bowl in the middle of all that chaos. The fact that you have watched this video all the way to the end is proof of how deeply you love him. That is not a small thing, that is everything. If you found any of this useful, hit the like button. It helps this safe content protect a lot more dogs this summer, and that matters to me more than you know. Subscribe if you have not already, so I can keep showing up with videos like this one when you need them. And in the comments below, I want to hear from you. Tell me one summer food or treat you were surprised to learn was dangerous. And tell me the name of your dog while you are at it. I try to read every single comment, one by one. Give your dog a gentle scratch behind the ears for me. Stay safe, trust your instincts, and I'll see you in the very next video.